everybody. As you know, Samia Pedalino is like, I admire you so much. I really do, because not only are you like a financial planner extraordinaire, mother of two adorable children, wife, hi, you have chocolate all over your face.
My kids are cute. All of our kids are cute.
Welcome to Good Morning Mama. We're two instant best friends with a combined 13 children, ages newborn to 16. Talk about all things motherhood. Our new mom versus seasoned mom dynamic will leave you laughing, and our Christian values and positive outlooks will leave you inspired. So grab your coffee, pull up a chair, and enjoy our visit.
But you have launched Lino, I'm saying that correctly, right? Lino
Yes.
Cosmetics. Gorgeous skincare line. We were actually just chit-chatting. This is now, I guess, the mompreneur in us. We're chit-chatting about meta ads and how to
Yes.
optimize your business. That's our coffee talk nowadays. So it's great. I love it. You just went through a big launch yourself, right? Can you tell us about that a bit?
Yes. So my husband and I were in beauty and fashion for a really long time, salon and day spas, clothing stores. I also have a background in finance. So we always kind of talked about creating our own custom product line because for so many years we were purchasing it from, the big brands and selling it. And we just were like, man, it would be so great to be just kind of on the wholesale side and create our own product. And I'm really into like clean eating and clean living and not having chemicals and like seed oils and things like that. And one of the first things I noticed is sunscreen because I'm in Florida.
Yeah.
So we wear sunscreen.
Right down the street.
And I was reading these articles that sunscreen chemicals create skin cancer. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So depressing. I'm like, this is insane. People are putting this cream on their skin, hoping to like protect. And meanwhile, these chemicals are getting into their bloodstream. It's not being processed in their liver and like somehow is creating cancer cells. I'm like, this is crazy. So the barrier to entry with sunscreen is that it is considered an OTC. It's over the counter. So it's actually has to be approved by the FDA. So a lot of times you
Wow.
don't see small brands with sunscreen products because it's an OTC. It's like a whole 12-month process, stability testing. It's like intense.
Yeah.
So of course, my husband and I are like, let's do
Let's do that
sunscreen. Let's do the hardest path available. Welcome to my life. So what we did was we're like, it has to be mineral based.
Yeah.
It is. This is the box, but it's zinc oxide. So it's just zinc. And zinc simply protects your skin from UVA and UVB rays, just protects from the cancerous stuff that you get from the sun. And we did a 24% zinc, which is SPF 50. Now, the sun's really good for you. Like we want the vitamin D and it's wonderful. However, it does create dark spots, which we don't want, right, ladies? And it does create wrinkles, which is kind of a bummer. So we added into this product vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, which is super hydrating, green tea extract, and niacinamide, which is like an anti-aging property. So we did a lot that basically just kind of brightens the skin. Like vitamin C has like a brightening effect. And niacinamide, it reduces the appearance of fine lines, which is great. And hyaluronic acid is like really lightweight, but it's very hydrating. And so, the green tea I really wanted in there because it kind of gives you like it's like an antioxidant for your skin. We drink green tea, but it's really good to put on your skin too. So anyhow, as a mom, I just really felt like, I just wanted like a morning multitasker. Like before this product, I don't know about you, but I had like 7 steps. Like I had the vitamin C serum, I had the niacinamide and the hyaluronic acid, I had the SPF. Like it was like hundreds of dollars. So I'm like, let's put all of this in one bottle without a white cast, because that's kind of the yucky thing about sunscreens is you get like that white kind of chalky. So with our custom formulation, it's a serum. Like it comes out of a dropper bottle and it just blends clear and it doubles as like a dewy primer for your makeup. So you can just wear it and leave for the day or put makeup on after. And it's good for guys too, because it doesn't get like stuck in their beard. So that was kind of the heart behind the idea of just something clean, something that um, is a multitasker, because as moms, that's like we live by that code, right?
Yeah.
And something that's affordable. So that's kind of how the product came to be.
That's really cool. And like you said, I mean, you're in Florida, but even if you're not in Florida, sunscreen is good to wear every
Oh,
day.
even
So I
in the
mean, it's
wintertime,
nice
because
that
it
you can just
comes,
wear it
yeah.
all the time, every day. Yeah. That's so smart.
Especially if it's like super hydrating, because people's skin gets so dried out in the winter, and we put hyaluronic acid in this, which is like plumpy and hydrating, and it has like the dewy finish. So it's been great. And we some like seed dropping, like we would seed the product to different people just to get
Yeah.
some reviews, obviously, like before we launched it on our website. And one of the
Right.
main um like feedback, some of the feedback we got was just how hydrating it was, but it wasn't greasy, it didn't make people break out. They loved that it had like all the ingredients packed in it. So it was really good. The feedback we've gotten so far has been great.
That's so cool. And you make it sound so easy. It's and I know it's not, but you make it sound like I had this idea and so here it is and we just did this. But I know it was not the case. And there were probably many, if it's anything like Chelsea and I, like we plan on things going like this, but really there's like hills and there's doors that
Yeah.
are closed and opened and it just changes form throughout the process. Can you walk us through like from when you had the idea, how did like all of the little steps that you can think of, because you had to start a website for this, you had to create the product and the packaging and research the type of packaging and just tell us about all those little boring details that you had to go
Yeah.
through and learn about, because I'm really
So
interested in that.
sweet. So for somebody who ever wants to bring anything to market, like I actually had a clothing store for 6 years
Right.
before selling it. And so I had experience on the other end because my a friend of mine who was my business partner at the time, we would fly out to New York and do buying trips, and we'd meet with like all the brands, and we'd go to their showrooms and we'd pull what we wanted, and then, give the deposits, and they would do the shipments every month. And so these brands were creating the product, which is what I'm doing now, right? And they would do something called charge and ship. So like they would charge everyone would have your credit card on file, and they charge and ship for the months that you allow them to do it. And so I kind of, on that experience of my life, I saw their process of them having to source all the materials, how much to cut based on what the orders were. Make sense?
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to start backwards
Yeah.
before you can go forward in terms of like bringing a product to market. And then my husband had salons and day spas for like over 15 years before he sold his. And he was buying makeup, skincare, and hair care.
Okay.
And they were giving their wholesale price, and then he would have his retail price. But obviously it's always better just to do wholesale and have retail instead of being the middle person. And
Yeah.
so he had experience with customer reactions to products and the sell through from that, if that makes sense. The smell, the touch, the feel, those have to be very visual, because it's like sitting on your counter like decoration until you're done with it in your shower,
Right.
in your so we both kind of like had this experience in like the beauty and the fashion, and then took that to create our own, if that makes sense. So
Totally.
we had to find manufacturing. A lot of manufacturing's in New York, California, and there's some in Miami. Because it's our particular product has to have FDA approval, there's actually like required information I have to put on the box, like warnings and different labeler things. And you have to get a labeler code and a registration number with the FDA, and like all these different steps along the way. Like there's so much that happens. And then funny enough, I actually used a website called Upwork, UPWORK.
Love Upwork.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know that is, it's a website that has loads of freelancers who do graphic design, they edit videos, they build websites. It's kind of like this creative community, and
Mhm.
you pay them per job. I mean, you could hire somebody on there to like run ads for you on Meta. Like it's from
Mhm.
every country you could possibly imagine. We found this super talented guy in Italy. We kind of like told him our vision of like what we wanted the logo to be, our logo and our color theme, and he helped us make the logo. And it was like so affordable versus hiring like an advertising agency, going to be like 20 times as much. So there is certain things you could do if you can communicate and articulate what you want. You can save money. If you're just like, I want to have a clothing line that's like 100% cotton, and like I don't know what the name's going to be or what the vision's going to be or what my or like who my customer is, then like you need to hire an advertising marketing agency and like pay them a lot of money and they'll make it happen for you. But if you're able to be like, this is what I want, this is my vision, this is my brand, this is the woman who's using my product, this is her age group, these are her pain points, and this is what I'm solving, and you like hand that on a platter to somebody, then you'll save money because you did all the upfront work and they're just kind
And
of
by
like
the way, you can also use AI
AI.
to help you create your
Yes.
avatar and your
Yes.
target demo and help you. You can spit all of that stuff into ChatGPT and say, hey, help me create this for act as an ad agency and help me create this. And it's not going to be as good, but you can take that and refine it and you can help kind of get your ideas together. Right?
It's true. It's
Yeah.
totally true. So
So neat.
we did that. We kind of, brainstormed and we just put on paper who we thought our client was and who the woman is who's using Lino, what problem it's solving, which for us, this is like a multitasking serum because it has lots of really fun anti-aging ingredients plus sun protection. So you're saving money, you're saving time, which we all love.
Yeah.
And it's clean, it's zinc, it's not like cancer causing chemicals. And so it kind of checks all the boxes. It's under $100, retails for 64. We actually did bundle pricing too. So we had like a bundle of 3 and a bundle of 5. So it's like the more you buy, the more you save. There's subscription. For people like Carla who have like 100 people in her family, she needs
Yeah.
bundle. She needs the bundle of 5 and needs to pass it out to all her girls. Yeah.
So
The
true.
family bundle. So anyhow, you basically, from a skincare standpoint, you find manufacturing and you find a company who can print on bottles for you. Some people just like slap a label on it, but we really wanted like glass bottles that were recyclable. We really wanted to print and emboss on them. And so we did. There is less expensive methods, but they look less expensive. And I wanted like a luxury, like Dior, Gucci
Yeah.
beauty vibe without it being like $450 for a morning serum, which is what these brands charge. Their
Right.
markup is insane. So for us, like the product's made in America, it's printed in America, and we found a really great fulfillment center. So I'm personally not like sticking shipping labels on them and like running to UPS every day. There's actual fulfillment centers similar to Amazon, that you ship all your product to them, you pay them obviously, and they connect to your Shopify website, which by
Is
the
that
way,
kind of like a
Shopify,
3PL, like for clothes?
it's a
It is.
it's a
Okay.
plugin. So it can
Yeah.
work. So anytime you have like clothing line, a type of product, vitamins, like really you're selling anything
Yeah.
and you don't want to like ship it yourself, there are fulfillment centers. They're in Florida, Texas, and California. Because of the mapping of UPS and FedEx, it just makes the most sense to be in those 3 places. There's obviously some in New York, but
Right.
anyways, you would ship your product to the fulfillment center in one of those states. You pay them like a storage fee, which is normal. And then they get all your online orders from your website. You connect your website to them
Yeah.
and they stick a label on it and they ship it for you and they store it for you. And when inventory starts to get low, you have your manufacturing company or whoever's making your clothing or whoever's making your vitamins ship it to them. So you actually don't ever touch the product unless you like ship it to yourself. Does that make sense?
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of
That's
like
like for
Amazon
Kayak
does the
Cast. I
self-publishing.
never touched yes, exactly.
It's
We never
kind of
touched
like
our
that.
books.
You never touch the
Yeah.
product. You create the product, you sample the product and all the things. But once it's like done, you can
Yeah.
hire a fulfillment. And you don't have to do that right away. Like it's obviously less money just to like be shipping things yourself. But for us, we really wanted to scale this company and we really have high goals for it of the type of sales we want to do. And it just wasn't feasible to be playing post office master. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It just made sense from the
totally.
beginning to just set it up so that it could scale versus being in a bind and getting like 300 orders one day and being like, like.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate for that because like, are you plugged into Shopify as well?
So our website is built on Shopify.
Yeah. See, I'm a huge because I think that when it helps with inventory management, it helps with bookkeeping, it helps with just about anything and everything that it's to me worth it to pay that a little bit of premium or eat into my profit margins a bit to have a fulfillment center and basically an entire team of people to help you manage something that you wouldn't otherwise know how to do. I'm a huge proponent of that.
For sure, because if not, at some point you're gonna like end up hiring an employee to do it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
like one way or another,
start
you're
with the
spending the
experts.
money. So it's kind of like, do you want an in-house person doing all your shipping, or do you want to just hire it out to like the
Right.
large company? And there's a bunch of them. There's one called ShipBob. There's another one called ShipMonk. Like there's tons of fulfillment centers you like that
Mhm.
are in the US. If you sell on Amazon, you can actually just use the Amazon fulfilled by Amazon and you ship it to the Amazon fulfillment center and they do it for you. They charge you, but they
Yeah.
do it for you. Like if you're an Amazon, want to post
Yeah.
your product. The other really cool thing about Shopify, let's talk about that for a minute. They have
Yes.
so many plugins. So basically you have this product, clothing, vitamin, whatever it is. You can create this Shopify website, which Chelsea can help you do. And they have something called plugins. So what that means is if you're like, I want to connect this to my Instagram page so that my Instagram can have a shop, you
Mhm.
can download the Instagram plugin to your Shopify and it automatically pulls all the information and creates an Instagram shop for you. It's like wild. And then if you're like, I need to pay sales tax, think about that. Sales tax, right? Not just in Florida, but in all the other states that are
Yes.
purchasing
It
my
does it for
product.
you.
There's a plugin called Avalara,
Hmm.
and Avalara it pulls all your sales and sees the states it's coming from and remits the sales tax for you in all those states, including the one that you're in. There's a setup, like they assign you a person and you do all the things. But it's really interesting. Like, it's just things you don't think about that have to get done because it's a bookkeeping nightmare if you're going to try to go pay sales tax in 48 or 50 states. A
Right.
lot of people, there's some companies, they don't sell in Hawaii or Alaska because it's so expensive to ship. Like there is no standard shipping to some of these like US naval bases and different couple of the states. It's like no matter what, it has to be express. So
Hmm.
it's up to you. Like you'll see sometimes when I shop online, it'll be like excluded, like free shipping, but excluded from like Puerto Rico, Hawaii, Alaska.
Right.
Like $15 to ship to those places. I feel so bad for them. I'm like, these people must not shop online or they just pay to ship it. They're just used to the $15 fee that it costs.
I think they just factor it in, right? I
They're
mean, at
just like,
that point, you
whatever.
could.
Yeah, I don't
Hmm.
know. So, or they just like sign up for Amazon Prime, I guess. But anyhow, so I'm a really big proponent of Shopify. I think it's such an easy way. And you look at these huge brands like Kylie Cosmetics, Shopify,
Hmm.
Rose, Hailey Bieber, Shopify. You're like, okay, if these huge celebrities with
Right.
these management teams and marketing agencies are choosing this platform, I'm not going to try to like reinvent the wheel.
Right. And I love it for moms because it's like $35 to start. Like your
Right.
basic, like, okay, you can start your first 30 days for $0. And it helps you step for step create the business. It helps you with email automations, like it has templates for everything. Of course, you can improve upon it and pay, but I love it. That's why I switched from Etsy to Shopify because most moms start on Etsy, but the
That's
fees are
so
crazy.
true.
Yeah. And the fees are crazy and it's
Etsy
not
days.
as like business oriented. Shopify, you can scale. You can run ads. You can connect with shop. I'm just this isn't an ad. We're not paid by
I
Shopify.
know we should be. You're like, thank you.
But if a mom wants to go and start a business, that's a great
Yeah.
opportunity or a great way to do it.
And it's like low cost. Like if they wanted to, they could just build out the site themselves or they could hire somebody. I think they have like an AI tool that does it for you. I mean, I personally, I had a website builder because
Mhm.
I wanted it to be specific of what we wanted, but do it
Yeah.
yourself.
One thing I love about what you're saying is like all of these things are, you could look at them as like roadblocks or kind of like challenges that you just need to figure out and make the best choice. Because like we've heard from a lot of women in our strategy calls who they have a dream, they start a business, but then they hit one roadblock, like, you know, the shipping, how do you do that? Or just any of those things, the sales tax. We talked to a mom who had an amazing business, but the sales tax in all the states and just the magnitude of that made her actually stop her business. And so I love how you
Yeah.
those blocks
She
and you
made
were like,
like $2 million, but didn't set up her sales tax properly and didn't have the right attachments for some reason. And I guess she couldn't keep up with it. So she shut that part of her business down.
but that is so true. How when
Right.
I know Chelsea and I have experienced that, where, you know, you have a dream and an idea, and you know, it's not going to be smooth sailing every day for every step, but you hit different decision points and you make the decision and you know, you just keep going. But any of those things, you know, if you're not ready for it, you could see those as, well, that's too hard, or, well, I have to, you know, stop this because of this barrier. But I love how you just see it as, well, this is the next decision point, and you make it and you go on. And I think that's really cool.
If your client wants to reopen that business, Avalara, which is the company that remits sales tax, can retroactively do it for her.
I didn't know they could it can retroactively do it.
If you
Okay.
have, if
I'll
you
have to
can,
tell
if
her.
they can, is she on Shopify?
I don't know. We haven't officially, that's an after the summit call, but it was a
Situation.
preliminary
There's a
call.
way for them to connect to her website, and it like
Okay.
shows like all the transactions with the customer's information. They could do it retro.
Okay.
Avalara, Avalara. They're the ones, they're like the company to use that remits sales tax.
I'm
And
gonna
by
email
the
her right
way, also, legally, you actually don't have to pay sales tax until you hit $100,000 in sales in a particular state.
now. Okay.
So for people who are first starting out, you only have to do it in the state you live in. So like you and I are in Florida, Chelsea. So like if we launched
Yeah.
a product right away, you're doing the monthly sales tax for Florida, but all the other states are not required until it reaches 100,000 in sales. So the first customers save a little money in the beginning of the out of state because like they don't have to pay sales tax yet until they do.
Huh, that's interesting.
Some states it's more. California is more. I think California is 250.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what would be your best piece of advice? I know we started this on skincare, but it's taken a different turn, and I think it's even better because skincare is amazing, and I think that we need to talk about it, and we need some of those beauty secrets for sure. But from my standpoint, I would love to hear from you as a mother and an entrepreneur and an author and clearly successful in a business, starting your business. What are your best practices on a daily basis, not only to keep yourself motivated, but to keep yourself like calm and well rested and somewhat balanced? What do you do? What does your day look like?
I don't really know if balance is a thing. It's more like a juggle. It's like you're just juggling. So I have a 5 and a 7-year-old, and fortunately, they're in a wonderful school. So most of my work hours are when my children are in school. I sign them up a lot for like after school activities, which is such a key for me. So that it extends it to like 4 o'clock. So pretty much my days are from like 8 to 4 instead of 9 to 5. And I work after they go to bed at like 7:30 until like 9. So,
Yeah.
you know, when you're entrepreneurial and you're running a business, and I happen to be, you know, doing it with my husband, you a lot of things that you're talking about are work related, but I really try to focus on my kids when they're with me, put my
Right.
phone down. Sometimes I turn my phone off. I'm like, this can wait. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I get back to it like after they go to bed, I really, really try to be like no phones, no nothing after like 9 p.m. so that your brain can kind of chill. I think it's really important to start your day with prayer. That's
Mhm.
super helpful. Even if it's just like a scripture that you kind of repeat and meditate on and then go about your day. I think that's pretty big game changer, keeping God as the forefront. I think it's important to try not to control everything because what
Yeah.
happens is entrepreneurship, a lot of times you're afraid because you're taking risks and you can't control the outcome. You hope X, Y, and Z will happen, but you don't know because it's,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I mean, God knows, but you don't know. And so a lot of times it's like putting your trust in Jesus that
Hmm.
he's leading you and he's guiding you. And for whatever reason, if it doesn't go in the direction that you think or want it to go, then you pivot.
Hmm.
So I think sometimes it's like giving ourselves permission to make mistakes. We do, you know, sometimes we do stupid things, we say stupid things, whatever, and forgiving ourselves and knowing that like we're doing the best that we can. But I think it's important to have faith first and then family and then the finance and the fitness and like all the healthy things to keep yourself strong and in shape because like kids are a lot of work. Like
Yeah.
I love my children, but they're exhausting. And
Hmm.
for instance, I'm just now coming off of like an almost whatever 2.5 week holiday break. Can I tell you, I had these kids going like it was like Camp Mom.
Yeah.
It was like playground, inside trampoline park, the Museum of Ice Cream in Miami. And we get home, literally, Mom, what are we doing next? I'm like, what do you mean, what are we doing next? Like, I'm
We
done.
did the thing.
Go to your craft area and figure it out.
Yeah. We did the thing.
We
We
did, we
did
did
the
all the
day.
things. We did enough things.
I love that a lot of
So
our speakers, independently of each other, they don't know what each other said. They are saying the same things. Like your advice is pretty much across the panel, which is really, really cool.
that's
Yeah.
fun.
We agree with.
That's fun. And I think it's also realizing what your strengths are,
Yeah.
especially if you have a business partner is to really like the two of you partner on a lot of things just to realize this is my strengths. I'm admin, I'm visionary, I'm detail, I'm conscientious and like each do what you're
Yes.
strong at and then you just appreciate that and not try to like
We talked about this yesterday.
not try to
You're
like
so right.
be
Yes.
something that you're not. Like if you're good at public speaking and you're good at relational and you're good at doing the videos that you can run as ads, great, do that.
Yeah.
If you're good at the emails and the admin and the follow-ups and the Zoom with all the behind the scene agencies that you've hired, great, do that. So I just think it's too much work for one person. And so if you don't have a business partner, it's important to delegate and like hire people. And if you do, just kind of having like clear guidelines of what each of you should be doing. Because a lot of times women like find friends and they want to do it together. Like I had that clothing store for all those years and it was my friend and I, like we ran it
Yeah.
together. It was super helpful because
Right.
I was there 3 days a week. She was there 3 days a week. And then we had obviously a girl there 1 day a week. Right. So like 6 out of 7 days, there was an owner.
Right.
And that was like a brick and mortar. So it's a little different, but it's just, you know, it's nice to have that, but you don't want like too many cooks in the kitchen. You know, you kind
Yeah.
of have like you're defined. I mean, there's going to be a little bit of crossover, but because we're all like mom bosses, but
I
and
think
have
sharing in
grace.
core values as well is critically important. So, like,
Yeah.
I can die to myself pretty easily, or I trust Carla in a way that can say to me, like, hey, hold on, like, you're getting a little, like, ego's a little bit here. Let me help you here, or what, and being okay with being either not okay or just being able to trust each other in that and not needing all of the credit or all of this or all of the ideas, but understanding that it's a collaboration and it's okay to be collaborative and work
And I
together.
think for you girls, like, you know, your main thing is that you're empowering and inspiring women to build and to create and to like be living out their dreams. So it's like, does it really matter who gets the credit in the
No,
end if the goal is
exactly.
being accomplished? Like, who cares?
Exactly.
Yeah.
God sees it all.
So, speaking into that, I want you to talk a little bit about your philanthropic efforts because this is something that we learned that a lot of like your book sales and a lot of your financial empowerment speeches and all of that goes to help moms and women. And
Yes.
I really want to hear more about it. And I
I know
think
I
that
like never
audience
talk
would
about
love
it.
it. Yeah.
So I wrote this book back in 2020 called Money Handbook. That's exactly what it is. It's a handbook on money because I was in finance for many years, and it talks about budgeting and investing and how to teach your kids about money and mindsets and all that, and has like a biblical foundation. And I decided that whatever sales I get from it, I would donate. And so I started that process back in 2020. And a lot of the donations just go towards like single moms, women in need. It's a lot of like women and children centered
Yeah.
organizations that help like foster care kids, organizations that help like sex trafficked women like get out of that and kind of assimilate back into society and get jobs. And so I just really believe like it's important to have some type of like philanthropic arm of what you're doing. Like when you can, if you can be generous and give. I'm just a big proponent in being able to sow into people's lives.
Absolutely.
I think it just keeps you from being greedy, honestly.
Yeah.
It also is like gives purpose because I feel like we're created to help. Like our
Mhm.
makeup is created for community. It's created like as a mother, you know, it's created to help, it's created to nurture. And it's very fulfilling to be able to do that.
Right. And
And
if we are going to be taking time away from spending with our kids, I'd love to do it with something with purpose, right? To make
yeah.
sure that I'm helping others.
Mhm.
I think that that's so cool that
Yeah,
that,
that was just something my husband and I decided. And I was like, you know what? Well, it's funny because when I first wrote the book, I didn't really know if anybody was going to buy it.
yeah,
You know, you write a book and you're like, I don't know.
right. I'm always
I'm like,
surprised.
my
Like,
mom,
oh,
I
I
mean,
sold
my
another one.
mom, I
Yeah,
figured, I'm like, surely my mom will buy some copies because she'll be
yeah,
like a proud
that
mom.
was
And she did,
yeah.
and give it to her friends. Like, my dad wrote a book. But I never really thought it would open the doors that it did and kind of get me on the different podcast interviews that it did. And I ended up teaching at a school for like many years because of the book. And I ended up in like Barnes and Noble and different places. So it was
Oh,
like just really cool where the book
yeah,
went, you know, it kind of like grew
totally.
complete, which was super humbling. But I mean, my thing was like, I just wanted to make a very complex subject, finance, money, which can be scary and wrapped in shame and guilt, and sort of break it down and be accessible to people so that they could build confidence and feel literate in it so that they wouldn't
Yes,
be afraid and they would have the ability to manage their own money in
yes.
a good way so that they have like something to show for it, you know, and build legacy. So that was like the purpose of the book. And yeah, up until this point, we've just donated the sales.
And I love that you've made it so it's not just for the wealthy, it's for anybody to
Yeah.
learn how to create and generate wealth and manage what you have and start where you
Oh,
are,
totally. Just start with where you're at. Absolutely.
no
Yeah.
matter where you are. So like
Yeah. You
I
don't
come
have to
from
like,
a single mom apartment living, like very humble beginnings, and I know that if I had had that handbook would have really helped me and my mom be able to, grow wealth and position ourselves differently. It's like you can use the tools that you have at any point in your life in any financial position. So that's what I think is
totally.
neat and
You're not a
cool.
victim.
Yes, you can be empowered.
Mhm.
Oh, hi, Bo.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's always right.
Yeah.
As long as you're okay with it, we're okay with it.
He has a mind of his own. He's like, I want to play with clay now, so I got to play.
Hi,
He's
Bo.
independent.
I love it. We're like, and small child on the kitchen counter.
Right? This is real life here,
That's
right?
mom life right
Oh
now.
my gosh.
Yeah. I wanted to give, so all the people that are signed up for this event, which is
Yes.
its own email list, I would imagine.
Yes.
I wanted to be able to, or have you send an email to them with like a discount code to buy the products. I feel like it's a lot of moms who need a multitasker in the morning.
Completely agree. We will link it in the Zoom chat and we will also email it out after this event for sure.
Yeah. So I'll
And I
go in
really
Shopify and
appreciate
I'll
that.
create like a coupon code for it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So anyone that goes, if they want to grab it. And I
Yeah.
know obviously not everyone's gonna listen to like because you guys have a lot of breakout sessions, but they can always go back and listen or just get the product if they want it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it is so important. And I know that you've actually entered one of the products in the giveaway too. So we are very excited to share that also. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know that having like that multi-serum is really helpful in being able to actually take care of your skin, be a mompreneur, take care of your toddlers, go running around, doing everything. Making things simple is so important.
Self-care.
Self-care. And that's one thing that I loved about your mom advice too, was self-care isn't selfish. Making sure that you take care of you and your skin and your body in a very holistic way is critically important to thriving as a mom. And I think that that's the best way to start their 2025. So you gave us so many tools and insights into business, entrepreneurship, motherhood, giving back, and self-care and skincare. I love you. I thank you so much. You're so inspiring. You're the best.
Love is mutual.
On that happy note, we're gonna let Carla get Bo off the counter. I'm gonna go get my crying daughter, and we're gonna meet back here.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Samia. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.